What's going on, guys? It is the Lone Courier here, and I'm here to talk to you guys today a little bit about Infinite Warfare and the E3 gameplay that was showed off from the campaign. Now, I'm probably going to talk a little bit about Modern Warfare Remastered at the end of the video, but so far I just want to talk about Infinite Warfare to start off this video. So, yes, a small sneak peek of a mission, probably about 10 minutes of a mission to be honest, was shown off at E3, and it actually shows off quite a few things from the campaign. One of them is the new mission selection. Now, it's kind of weird the way they're doing it this year. It's a little bit, it really reminds me of Destiny, to be honest. You know how in Destiny you can kind of cut out bits of the story, or you could jump ahead through different places. You know how each mission was on different planets and whatnot. It really reminds me of that, to be honest, like a more polished Destiny system of the campaign, which is also a bad thing because I'm going to be completely honest, I prefer a campaign that just starts and it just keeps going, you know, rather than this, it breaks immersion and it breaks you from doing a mission to do this. You know, it's just all these campaigns that are fluid and you can just play it in one sitting without having to move through navigation menus. Stuff like that I feel breaks immersion. So yeah, it's just a slight little thought of mine, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it definitely is going to break the immersion and be an awful campaign, but that's just my initial thoughts. So far they showed off the space fight and the space fighting in the, I think it's called the Jackal or something. It's basically a rip-off of the Pelican, or if one of the fighter jets looked like a rip-off of the Pelican from Halo, which is a rip-off of one of the transport things from Alien. So yeah, the space fighting doesn't look very cool. Well, obviously some of it looks cool, to be honest. The fighting in like the ship doesn't look very cool. It doesn't look appealing to me, you know, the whole flight simulator stuff. It's just, I've never liked that in Call of Duty games. They've been trying to push this on us for so long, and I've never enjoyed it any single time. You know, I prefer playing Call of Duty and just playing a mindless FPS where I just get to shoot things. I don't like vehicle missions in Call of Duty. It's always been bad. The only vehicle missions I've actually enjoyed in Call of Duty has got to be the AC-130 Death from Above mission in MW1, the fucking Black Cats mission where you're flying the PBY Catalina in World at War, also the tank mission, I think it was Ring of Steel in World at War. And I would say that's probably about it. I don't really like the other vehicle-based missions. There was one in Black Ops 2, there was one in Advanced Warfare, and there was one in Black Ops 3 as well. And I don't enjoy it, you know? It's just like, great, we're gonna have to fly these fucking fighter jets. I have no interest in flying stuff around, you know. If it's GTA, sure, I'll go and fucking steal a fighter jet and blow some shit up. That's fun because it's GTA. I just don't enjoy it in Call of Duty, you know. So overall, it's just something I'm not very keen on. But the break does look quite cool. You know how you break out from the fighter jet and it just goes straight into combat. You know, there's no load zones or anything, so you can seamlessly exit your fucking fighter jet and just get into combat, which is quite cool. I actually quite like that there's no load zones or no fucking loading screens or anything between that. You know, you can just seamlessly get in and out of it, which is quite cool. The actual on foot combat or zero gravity combat looks slightly interesting. It looks a little bit weird. So they've added something new, which is the grappling hook. Although it isn't technically new, it was used in Advanced Warfare. The grappling hook was a feature that is used in Advanced Warfare's campaign, and obviously there was the Exo Grapple playlist if you ever played that for multiplayer. So it's not a new thing, definitely not a new thing, but it's quite cool. And also, it's kind of weird, but Titanfall's got a grappling hook, and it's kind of weird that these two games that are like going to be duking it out, you know, because it's going to be a 1v1 of Titanfall and Call of Duty this year. I mean, obviously, there's a Call of Duty versus Battlefield argument, but Battlefield's always going to win that argument. But when it comes to Call of Duty versus Titanfall this year, they look very, very similar. And I don't think comparing Infinite Warfare this year, right, now I don't want to piss my fans off here, but I don't think comparing Infinite Warfare to Battlefield 1 is very fair. You know, just going, oh, that's going to be completely way better. Because they're completely different games, you know. Battlefield is 64-player, massive multiplayer FPS games with fully destructible stuff. It's just a way bigger game, you know. It's like fucking, you know, even if Call of Duty was on cocaine, steroids, and Jack Daniels, it couldn't even match up to Battlefield. You know, Call of Duty is meant to be this 6v6 or maybe 18 players if you're playing a ground war. You know, it's meant to be this small team shooter game. You know, it's not meant to be like 64 player multiplayer games. You know, it's weird, but obviously Battlefield is probably going to beat out Infinite Warfare this year, but in terms of Infinite Warfare versus Titanfall, it's going to be interesting to see how the two compare, because so far they look very, very similar. You know, Infinite Warfare's got these new mech suits, or these new fucking robots that I've seen, and there's a robot I saw in the Titanfall trailer, and obviously you've got the Titans in Titanfall, and it looks like there's these mechs that are sort of similar looking to Titans, so it's going to be interesting to see how Titanfall and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare go against each other. So yeah, honestly, the gameplay doesn't look that bad. It actually looks quite good, to be honest. But obviously that's because it's campaign, and whenever they show off something at E3, it's always the most polished part of the gameplay. So yeah, it might not be a fair representation of what the game looks like, but this was actual just gameplay. You know, it's not pre-rendered or anything like that. It probably has had a little bit of polish and touching up just to make it look a little bit better, but I guess that's what the game's going to look like eventually as well. So overall, Infinite Warfare, the campaign doesn't look too bad, to be completely honest. It actually sounds quite interesting. I've heard it's the director from The Last of Us that's directing the game. I think he's the writer, and then you've got Guy Ritchie who made Snatch and Lock, Stock, which is it's quite a strange idea to get him involved in Call of Duty. If you want to know any other movies Guy Ritchie's made, he's made the Sherlock Holmes movie. There's one that everybody keeps saying that I can't really remember off the top of my head. It's a movie that a lot more people would have seen. But Guy Ritchie, you know, he's made all these good British films, British crime films and stuff. He's really good at what he does. So I have faith in him with that. You know, it's like he's a pretty good director or whatever he does. You know, his films are pretty good. So, you know, with Guy Ritchie doing it or having some kind of involvement in the campaign, it's probably going to be pretty good. Something else that came out on Twitter recently as well is apparently Kit Harington is going to be in the campaign. He's going to be a villain in the campaign, which I'm assuming means he is going to be the primary antagonist of the campaign, which is pretty fucking cool. Like, Kit Harington is a really good actor, honestly. A lot of people don't actually know his name. Most people know him as playing Jon Snow on Game of Thrones. And I'm going to say right now, I've never watched Game of Thrones. I know him from watching Spooks and a couple of other movies from here and there. He's a pretty good actor, so yeah. Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, Modern Warfare Remastered looks pretty good. You know, they just basically showed us off another trailer. Not much gameplay. There is a little bit from like all gillied up and whatnot, so it looks the same as it looked before. You know, there's nothing changed, so it's not like there's much to like fucking jerk off over here. I mean, it just looks the same as it did in the trailers that they released a couple of months ago. So yeah, another thing that came out is apparently if you pre-order a certain version of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Legacy Edition, you will be able to get access to the Modern Warfare 1 campaign a month early for PS4 players only. Now that seems a bit unfair to me. It did seem very fucking unfair originally, but it's just campaign, so I guess that's kind of fair. I guess it's not like a new campaign or anything, so I'm completely fine with that. I mean, that is pushing it a little bit too far, but at this point I really don't give a shit. So yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's a campaign I've played God knows how many times. I know what happens. It's not like suddenly they're going to fucking remaster it and then suddenly change the ending, you know? It's going to be the exact same game that you played years ago. So, it's whatever it is. So, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's been a Lone Courier. And if there's any other games you want to see me talk about from E3 or EA Play, just leave it in the comments. I might talk about Battlefield 1 pretty soon, actually, because it looks pretty good. So, yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's been a Lone Courier. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.